There are famous and wealthy royal families around the world, but not all of them share the limelight as much as those of England or Saudi Arabia. The country of Morocco in North Africa is ruled by one of the wealthiest royal families in the world, but we bet you couldn't even tell us who the king is. If you're new to the channel and you want to see the luxurious life that the 1% live in, subscribe and click the bell, that way you never miss a video. And make sure you stay until the very end to see the extreme lengths the king will go through to care for his luxury cars. The Kingdom of Morocco has existed in one form or another since as early as 788 AD. People have been living there for over 90,000 years, but it was Idris I who founded the first Moroccan state. The country sits at the mouth of the Mediterranean Sea, with coastal borders to the Atlantic Ocean and into the Mediterranean. Its position on the sea made it vital to traders in the past, and even today, its port cities can be found full of trading vessels from around the world. The country gained independence from colonial rule in 1956, and since then has been led by the royal family of the Alawi dynasty, who have existed in the region since the 13th century. Having ruled the area on and off since 1631, the family obviously have deep roots in both trade and industry, and this shows in their net worth. It can be incredibly hard to judge the wealth of a royal family due to the land and properties they hold never being sold or valued. There are also business interests that can be controlled by the family but under the name of the country instead of their own business. Despite this, it's estimated that the current king of Morocco, Mohammed VI, has a net worth of somewhere between $2 billion and $9 billion. We know it's a pretty rough estimate, but like I said, it's tough to nail these guys down. King Mohammed VI was born on the 21st of August 1963 to the king at the time, Hassan II of Morocco. King Hassan II was an authoritarian ruler who consolidated the Alawi dynasty's power in the region through political oppression and a heavy-handed approach to his subjects. He managed to subdue 2 coups and ended up purging the army of anyone who seemed opposed to his rule. Under his instruction, hundreds were killed and thousands were arrested during labor strikes and demonstrations against the government. This period in Morocco's history was given the name the Years of Lead. Though the scale of heavy-handed rule reduced in the later years of his reign, it wasn't until Mohammed VI ascended to the throne in 1999 that it truly ended. While Mohammed VI may be a more liberal ruler than his father, he's still profiting off the approach his father took to ruling before him. Much of his wealth has been amassed by investments in companies in Morocco. He derives much of his fortune from his control of Société Nationale d'Investissement, a large Moroccan investment holding company with assets valued at more than $10 billion. The king also owns a substantial chunk of the world's phosphate reserves. SNI's largest asset is a 48% stake in Morocco's largest bank, Attijara Wafa, as well as controlling stakes in mass distribution giant Marjane Holding, mining company Managem Group, and mobile telecoms company Inwi. In Morocco, these companies are huge, and the king makes an incredible amount of money off of them. It isn't just industry that has made the royal family the richest in Africa, though. If you were a king with multiple palaces, what would you do with them while you weren't there? The royal family owns 4 palaces in Morocco, which could mean one for the king, one for the queen, and one for each of their 2 children. But why split up the family like that when you can make far more money by turning them into hotels? His profit from just renting the palace out to Hotel Group earns him around $100 million a year. A combination of savvy businessman and inherited company wealth means his monthly income has been estimated at $140 million, which is far more than I'm going to earn in my whole lifetime. Of course, getting that rich isn't always done through legal means. The US Embassy in Rabat reported to Washington in a leaked cable that corruption is prevalent at all levels of Moroccan society. Corruption allegedly reaches the highest levels in Morocco, where the business interests of Mohammed VI and some of his advisors influence every large housing project, according to WikiLeaks documents published in December 2010. The documents released by the whistleblower website also quote the case of a businessman working for a US consortium, whose plans in Morocco were paralyzed for months after he refused to join forces with a company linked with the royal palace. Decisions on big investments in the kingdom were taken by only 3 people: the king, his secretary Mounir Majidi, and the monarch's close friend and advisor and former classmate Fouad Ali Hima. In April 2016, Mounir Majidi was named in the Panama Papers. I guess taking a cut of business in the country is just one of the many advantages of being a monarch. Of course, the royal family's net worth isn't just made up of King Mohammed VI's wealth. It is also worth including his son in the total, Crown Prince Moulay Hassan. With a net worth of $1.5 billion, his vast wealth is due to a very generous trust fund set up by his father, King Mohammed VI. His wealth is so vast that he's known as the richest child in the world. When you count his worth as well, the family may be worth $10 billion. That's more than enough money to get them into the top 100 richest families in the world. The Dar El Maksoum Palace, also called Palais Royal, is located in Fez and is the official residence of His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco and his family. It's surrounded by high walls, spanning an area of 195 acres. The palace was built in 1864, during the reign of Sultan Mohammed bin Abdallah, as a replacement of the old palace which was built by Sultan Mohammed IV. The palace comprises a mosque, accommodations for the royal guard, a cookery school, a library which contains the manuscript collection of the royal family, and the College Royal. The college educates senior members of the Moroccan royal family. On the grounds of the palace, gardens are designed with both French and Arab influences. The palace is absolutely huge and costs a small fortune to run. The combination of staff, repairs, and bills is estimated to set the Moroccan people back $960,000 a day. Yep, that's right, not a year or a month, a day. I say the Moroccan people and not the royal family because it's the tax money that pays for it. In 2014, the family was given an allowance of $701.3 million a year, with much of it used for the expense of personnel, clothes, and car repairs. Before we talk about how the royal family in Morocco spend their money, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell. That way, you'll be the first to see our next luxury video. Of course, as with any royal family, they can't spend all their time in their own country. Morocco has close historical ties with France. Because of this, the royal family regularly visit the country on holiday or just for the fun of it. When the family choose to visit the capital, they have the luxury of staying in a 17,222 square foot palace at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. Built in 1912, the three-story palace has 10 bedrooms, a penthouse, a gaming room, a swimming pool, a spa, a meeting room, a hair salon, a 3,200 square foot garden, and of course a 2,450 square foot terrace with a breathtaking view. The family bought the house off the Saudi royal family in 2020 for a mind-blowing $85.6 million. What if the family fancy a break from the city while in France though? Well, they have the perfect country getaway to retreat to. 24.8 miles from Paris, with a little more than 1,100 inhabitants, the village of Betz is home to Betz-le-Château. The castle was originally built in the 10th century, but has been expanded and modernized since then. Many people from Betz work temporarily in the castle during the family's stays, including cooks, gardeners, and electricity technicians. Apparently, the jobs created by the royal family's visits are the only thing keeping the local economy going. Just like their Saudi friends, the royal family of Morocco like to travel in style when they fly abroad. They use a Boeing 747-400 for commuting inside and outside the country. Crafted by national carrier Royal Air Maroc, the jet aircraft features a 4-engine wide-body layout that would normally allow space for 660 passengers. Of course, that space will instead be filled with luxurious spaces for sleeping, eating, and relaxing. Sometimes even the best families can have arguments, especially when you have a teenage son and daughter. When you're heading on holiday, you don't want to be stuck in the same plane with your grumpy son. So to avoid that, the royal family got Prince Moulay Hassan his own Gulfstream G650. The plane cost $68 million to buy, but surely the peace and quiet is worth it. They don't always have to fly abroad to go on holiday though. Morocco is a stunning country and an incredible holiday destination, which the royal family like to make full use of. Sometimes the best resorts don't have their own airports though, so the royal family have to make use of their extensive car collection instead. The Morocco king owns a fleet of pricey and flashy cars, which include Maybachs, Ferraris, and Aston Martins. His lavish lifestyle and care for his luxury cars was on show when Mohammed chartered a Hercules aircraft to transport his beloved Aston Martin DB7 from Rabat to the manufacturers in Britain to get it repaired. From his fleet of more than a dozen cars, the king selects one car every morning which he uses for that day. It is believed he owns over 600 cars with a total value of $400 million. Were you surprised by just how rich the royal family of Morocco are? Click the video on the screen to see another luxury video.